Hey YouTube, Coppersan here, and welcome to the final part of the winners and losers of the new 6 job skills according to the MapleStory Korea players. In this server, the 6 job advancement has been released for a while, and I looked into what the KMS players think of their 6 job skills. This includes their new origin skill, the 4 job skill masteries, and 5th job boosts. And just as a reminder, all the classes will gain from their 6 job skills. The feedback from the KMS players is more about class synergy, damage, cutscene duration, things like that. In today's video, we're checking out the final 6 classes: Phantom, Khali, Mihile, Zero, Wild Hunter, and Illium. Starting off with Phantom. Phantom's origin skill is called Defying Fate. When activated, Phantom attacks 7 times, dealing 6,300% damage 15 times. Then, for 30 seconds, every few seconds, deals 7,200% damage 4 times. The Mastery Core enhances Tempest, increasing the size and damage of the skill. There wasn't really a lot of feedback to be found related to the 6 job advancement skills on the forums. While there were some newer posts about some Phantom mains being sad that their class wasn't getting remastered and instead Angelic Buster was chosen, there wasn't really much going on there. There was the usual feedback of some part of the origin skill being spread out over 30 seconds, which is deemed unfavorable. Players do like that big burst. And that Tempest was the first skill to be selected to be improved with 6 job. However, as more skills will be added soon to the 6 job mastery course, Phantom mains don't seem to be too worried. The class was considered average by most feedback that I could find. Also keep in mind that Phantom is kinda okay in KMS, that's due to the attack speed differences compared to Global and C of course. Khali is the latest addition to the ever-growing MapleStory class roster. Her origin skill is called Hex Sandstorm, and similar to Luminous, this is a key down skill. It needs to be held down for 3 seconds to deal 3,300% damage 7 times. Then you let go, or the keydown period ends, attacking 3 more times, dealing 4,500% damage 8 times. Then for the final attack, you'll attack 6 times, dealing 5,400% damage 12 times. And after the skill is used, your final damage is increased by 25% for 30 seconds. Damage wise, this is a pretty decent skill, and the final damage buff is a very nice additional bonus. The very few Khali mains did complain about the way their origin skill works, and especially about the synergy with their other skills, as you want to use your origin skill as fast as possible in your rotation due to the additional final damage buff, which causes some issues with their skill rotations, cooldowns, etc, etc. Her Mastery Core increases the size and damage of Flurry and Chrysanthemum. Overall, Khali is regarded as a small winner, mostly due to the nice damage and damage buff from their origin skill. Also, I have to note that it was very hard to get a lot of feedback, as there are very few active Khali players in MapleStory Korea, so it was mostly just a small select group of people that were talking about it. It looks like this is one of the least played classes in KMS, based on their online presence at least. But how about our golden boy Mihile? His origin skill is called Durandal. When used, attack 2 times, dealing 4,500% damage 7 times. The second stage attacks 9 times, dealing 5,400% damage 5 times. And then the final stage attacks 5 times, dealing 6,600% damage 14 times. The origin skill was regarded as weak by some of the community members, but since Mihile is more of a supportive tank, personally I don't think that's all that bad, especially when you first activate your 5th job skill Radiant Soul to get that 100% ignore enemy defense buff going. Mihile's Mastery Core enhances Radiant Cross, increasing its damage and size, also of the Assault version when Rolling Soul is turned on. His 5th job enhancement cores not just boost the final damage of his attacking skills, for Shield of Light, the duration and final damage boost are increased. The final damage boost goes up to 40% at max level, and the damage reduction is also increased up to 90%, and the amount of stages for every shield is increased. His other 5th job shield, Line of Courage, also got its duration increased to 35 seconds, the damage boost gets increased to 40%, and the shield given to party members is increased to 400% of their base HP. Because Mihile is also not a very popular class in KMS, there wasn't that much feedback from the MapleStory Korea players. Also no protests or lying down and do nothing until your class gets fixed memes. So therefore I would rate this class 6 job perception as average. How about the second best twins in the game, Zero? Their origin skill is called Chrono Trigger. When activated, Zero attacks 4 times, dealing 6300% damage 6 times. The second stage of the skill attacks 7 times, dealing 5400% damage 8 times. And the final stage of the skill attacks 7 times, dealing 8100% damage 12 times. It's a very long origin skill, lasting about 7 to 8 seconds, but it does decent damage. The Mastery Core enhances a whopping 6 skills, which is kinda to be expected with the way Zero works. Giga Crash, Falling Star, Earthbreak, and Wind Cutter, Wind Striker, and Stormbreak are all getting their first 6 job buff. Plus they get a new skill effect called Timepiece. Each time your assists attack an enemy 4 times, 3 traces are created. When the opposing Zero then hits the time trace, it will activate, dealing 1440% damage 4 times. The enhanced core for Limit Break also increases the duration of the skill up to 30 seconds, and the final damage boost is increased up to 46%. Lots of nice buffs, and besides the longer origin skill duration, the Zero class is considered a slight winner this 6th job round. The class was deemed a bit weaker in KMS though, but at least it has a solid player base so I could get more feedback. Then there is Resistance Archer, the Wild Hunter. Their origin skill is called Nature's Belief. When activated, attack 3 times, dealing 5100% damage 6 times. After that, attack 5 times, dealing 4500% damage 14 times. Then for 30 seconds, whenever you or your Jaguar attacks, 3 additional strikes will activate that deal 2400% damage 10 times, with a reactivation cooldown of 2 seconds. Also, all attacks will inflict the Another Bite debuff. The initial burst isn't that strong for their origin skill compared to some of the other classes, but the additional damage that procs every 2 seconds and additional bite debuff are pretty great. Like always, the KMS Maplers want to see the damage more compressed, but for a Hurricane class like Wild Hunter I don't think it's all that bad. Their Mastery Core enhances Wild Arrow Blast, increasing its damage and size. Plus, each time another bite triggers, you'll get a stack. Get 50 stacks to increase the firing speed for up to 10 seconds. Their enhanced core buff Jaguar Storm a little bit different, increasing the final damage ratio to 120%, and when the skill is used with the arrow down key to summon only 2 Jaguars, the final damage ratio of the skill is increased to 360%. Wild Hunter is another very unpopular class in MapleStory Korea, making it harder to get a good feel on how the players feel about their 6-job skills. There was not a lot of direct negative feedback that I could find, but definitely not a lot of praises either. But there was a little bit more negative than positive feedback, so I'm going with this class being a slight loser for the 6th job advancement, just slightly though. To the final class, Illium, the Flora Mage. His origin skill is called Unlimited Crystals, and it does exactly that. When used, attack 7 times, dealing 5400% damage 4 times. The second stage attacks 5 times, dealing 6000% damage 6 times. Then for the final hit, attack 4 times, dealing 6600% damage 12 times. Also, for 20 seconds, more crystals are summoned. When a crystal reaction occurs due to your skills, it will activate the summoned crystals as well, dealing 2400% damage 12 times. This effect has a 1 second cooldown. Also, when 3 activations occur, 25 crystalline crystals are created that deal 2400% damage each. And there is a 2 second cooldown on this ability. Also, if you're flying during that Wings of Glory phase, that skill duration gets increased by 10 seconds when you use your origin skill. There's quite a lot to this skill. Their Mastery Core enhances Javelin, increasing its damage, and for each enemy hit, 2 fragments are created. Collect 30 of them to attack with an enhanced Javelin that fires 3 Javelins at the same time. Their Crystalline Spirit 5th job gets an upgrade with Illium's 5th job enhancement course. At max level, the final damage ratio is increased to 90% and the damage boost is increased to 50%. For the 5th job skill Crystal Gate, the final damage is increased, like with all other skills, but the duration is also increased to 190 seconds, that's quite long, and the magic attack boost will get increased to 95, all at max level of course. Illium mains are pretty vocal about how horrible their origin skill effects look. It covers a huge part of the screen and doesn't really look or feel that special. But overall, the damage, duration of the origin skill cutscene and mastery boosts were received well. It's not a big winner or anything, but definitely not a loser either. In KMS though, this class is regarded as probably one of the worst classes in the game, due to its many mechanics and weaker damage though. Just FYI. And that were all classes. I will make a complete video with every class in there without the sponsored segments and a bit more structured so you all can watch that. I really hope you enjoyed this series. I definitely did enjoy making it. Thank you all so much for watching. I got so much positive feedback. Really appreciate all of that. Thank you all for sticking to it. So special thanks to you guys. And as always, special thanks to our members for making these videos possible. Special thanks to Niels de Coninck, Raar, maar waar, Sebastian Hanoy, Jesus Rodriguez, Khali Wiley, Riser Ayu, BackSpaceOTI, Ziggy Deer, Historycanon, Saffronyx, Flidiot, Knifesu, Cloudfix, Sir Tito 655, Michael Menchaca, Rathius, Afterlord, Betrayal 1489, Silvio Nato, Striker Elk, Tidal One Fun, Victor Sundstrom, Mathias Simonsson, Mr. Anark, Benon Games, The Passenger, Kani Wu, Max Bernhardt, Mukau 1017, BNB King, Scotty Flies Fast, Gabriel Eck, Fecko, Vake Botnet, Dante Victory, Mathinu Def, Snack HBG, Only, Lord Vasil, Spats the Kaiser, That Archie Guy, Louis Bento Brandau, Snufflepop, Tails Curspet, The Wolf Drake, Gaber Wolf, Live Love MapleStory, Kali, Duckfoos, Quinn, Migu, Sir Otter, Nix, and Guilherme Paiva. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay safe and happy mapling!